All right. In essay writing, there are things we call pros and cons. These are things you should avoid and things you should apply or hold on to. So the first one,
Informal words and expressions should be avoided.
mhm,
These are the examples.
yes, please. Okay, so let's look at the pros and cons during an essay writing test. These are things you should hold on to and things you should avoid. The first on the list is informal words and expressions. Because essay writing is a formal writing, you are strongly encouraged and expected to show off more of formal expressions rather than bringing in informal contents. Some of the things that may appear to be informal in your writing that you do not even take cognizance of would be the use of the word very. What do you use the word very to do? To lay emphasis on something. Very. And when you use very, you must bring in the particular information or verb or adjective you want to describe. For instance, I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. IELTS says that's common. That's informal in a way. Why don't you use one word? I'm famished, advanced. I'm starving, advanced. Avoid this guy. The house is very big. IELTS says that's informal. Why don't you say it's what? Gigantic. The man is very tall and big. He is a giant. The guy is very short. He is a dwarf. The girl is very beautiful.
A singular word,
A singular word
like using it.
that is advanced. That's what IELTS wants. Avoid this. Right? Then a lot of people use this word like such as. This is informal. The guy is tall, just like such as is more advanced. Avoid contractions. Semi-formal writing. What are contractions? The practice of merging two words together using a apostrophe, right? So instead of saying cannot, some people will say can't. In essay writing, this is going to drop your mark. Avoid that guy. So essay writing requires you to spell every word in full. Spell every word in full. Don't contract. You only contract if you are having your speaking test. Speaking test considers contracted expressions as formal and advanced expressions.
So in an informal essay writing, like you said, tax one is letter writing, and then it happens to be informal writing. Yeah. You don't use contraction, and
You are good.
just avoid it. So generally, writing just avoid contraction.
Informal writing respects contracted expressions because
Does it upgrade your score?
yes, it does. It shows that you are being as informal as you are supposed to, because you are expected in an informal letter to be as free as though you're having your normal rapport,
Only if you do.
because it's someone you have some great level of relationship with. So please avoid contractions in
Writing
essay writing. Anything formal, avoid this guy. Spell every word in full. In your writing, in your listening test, you must spell every answer in full. In your reading test, you must spell every answer in full the way it's written in your passage. Now let's go to slangs. You must avoid slangs. You must avoid vernaculars. Bringing in your native expressions into essay writing, except when the topic is about your native menu or recipe or practice, whatever it is. So that's where you can bring in a native expression, but you must, in brackets, give the formal expression. Then abbreviations, avoid abbreviations. Abbreviations are, in a way, synonymous with contractions. Avoid shorthands. Shorthands are also forms of contractions, but they are more like slangs, where people, because of addiction to chatting on their phones, instead of writing YOU, they would write U. Instead of writing FOR, they would write number 4. Instead of writing TO, they would write number 2. So please avoid these guys. Sometimes they do them unconsciously. They forget that they are writing something official or formal, and they end up making such a mess in their test. Now, the next one is this list of words right here. The first is kids. Avoid this guy when you're referring to your child or children. IELTS says this is not the formal word for children. This is the formal word for baby goats. So people should avoid calling their children baby goats, so that it doesn't begin to have some impact and the child will start behaving like man. You know. Avoid the use of the word words. Words is ambiguous, is also an informal expression for children. What does it mean? Words can be used in a hospital, right? Words can be used in a prison. Words can also be used at local government area. So IELTS says avoid this guy. Infants. People have come up to argue that infants mean children, especially those within the age of blah, 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 blah. But what about when you're talking about children who are above such age? Because children covers everyone that falls under a set of parents, right? So do not use infant, because infant could be is a formal word for baby monkey. A young monkey is an infant. Young ape is an infant. The young recruits in the military are called infants. Avoid this guy. Offspring or offsprings. Ambiguous. It could be the offspring of a plant. It could be the offspring of an animal. It is also an informal word for human babies. So please avoid.
What's the appropriate word? Children.
Children must be called children. Please do not mix that up. Kids, words, infants, offsprings, all of these words simply mean children. That's the formal word for all of them. So in IELTS, please maintain children. Don't try to paraphrase children. Now let's go to the next one, ambiguous words. What are ambiguous words? Ambiguous words are big words. Ambiguous words are not big words per se. They are words that have multiple meanings. Or any word that has more than one meaning is an ambiguous word. Edo State. Honorable Patrick.
What words are those?
Turgid and ambiguous words.
Rose, sorry.
I'm having a class. This is live. Honorable Patrick uses turgid words, and he also mixes them with ambiguous words. So that's why he doesn't communicate. You know what communication means? When you say something and the listener is understanding. So in IELTS, please avoid turgid words. There's a number of turgid words that people don't consider to a number of ambiguous words that people don't consider to be ambiguous words. Let me just give you an instance. This word here, this is a very common example I use during my training. This is called simple word. But this simple word can mean a lot. It can mean a lot. Let's take, for instance, tomorrow will be your birthday, and your classmates or your colleagues will come up to you and tell you, Miss Rhoda, we are very excited to hear that your birthday is coming very soon. But we want to assure you something. We shall be present at your birthday and we shall present a present to you. We shall be present at your birthday. We shall present a present to you. One word giving three different meanings. So when you use such word in a sentence, do you know what you've done? You have just given the examiner the room to decide or choose on whichever meaning he or she wishes to read to what you have written.
And this narration now you just give, for example, I think it's also not tautology.
No, it's not.
Because tautology means
Repeating same word.
this sentence
They stand for the
different purpose.
exactly same spelling.
Yeah. English.
Do you understand? So IELTS says, do not bring complications to your writing. You need to be very precise in whatever context you are writing. So please, when you are choosing any words, ensure that that word is alive and it stands for just that particular purpose. Now, let's look at turgid words. Turgid words are the heavy sounding words. Examples are those of Honorable Patrick, the Krinkrum Krankrum, the Higi Haga, the Moboklokum, the Gagatuangaga. All of such words are turgid words. They are words that are not native English words.
He goes for IELTS.
He will fail.
As the
He
those
will,
guys will just be so confused. Where is this one? What space is this one coming from?
he will fail because he won't be able to communicate.
At all. There's no communication.
So IELTS says avoid those high sounding words that will leave you appearing to be making no sense to whoever you're talking to. Go for simple but advanced words. So this is the last one here, and this last pro here says advanced words and expressions. IELTS says please work more on advanced words and expressions. So that takes us to